Welcome to Verbal Big Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome y'all to the show. Today we dealing with the Stephon Court murder by the police. But first, I want you all to watch the movie Everyday People. Watch episode 1. Episode 1 is dealing with police brutality from the start when it first comes on. You got to go check it out. You have to, because it's a docudrama, but this particular episode, this particular series, this particular movie, Everyday People, is actually art imitating life. It's not life imitating art. This is actual art imitating life. Real life events and stories that actually took place. Real people, everyday people. You know, you need to go to YouTube, put in Everyday People the movie, and watch episode 1. This stuff is actually going on. Now, white privilege is not about white privilege anymore. To all the white males that's listening, white females. It's not about white privilege anymore. White privilege is dead. Now it's about white anger and white aggression. See, white people are displaying the fact that they're mad because they don't have the privilege that they once had, and they want to blame it on the minorities. Look, they want to send the minorities back to Mexico, send folks back to Haiti, El Salvador, Ecuador. They want them to go. Then they want to bring in people from, like your president said, Norway, more white people. Then they upset that they said, okay, well, we don't want to call the 2018 Columbus Day. It's called Indigenous Peoples Day. And they're upset about that. Because indigenous people were here, that's why they're indigenous. And so now, black people like Stephon Court in his grandmother's backyard, cell phone, shot 7 or 8 times in the back. That's anger, that's aggression. That's white people who you go in the stores and they looking at you like you're tearing this country up, like black people. When black people been a victim of white racism and white oppression, white aggression, you name it, economic racism, housing discrimination, down the line by whites, and now white people are showing us how they would have reacted if the roles were reversed and they were the ones discriminated against like we were in this country. They can't handle it. I mean, it's driving them crazy. They can't take and bear what black people had to take and bear under their leadership or under their rule. Because you have to admit, it was under white rule because they came with the guns, conquered the land, and enslaved everybody that wasn't white. I take that back. They slaved a good percentage of the indigenous people, native people, black people, anything wasn't white in America, they were put in slaves. A good percentage, but I don't want to say all, because you did have some freemen and free blacks. Okay, but now that the shoe is not on the other foot by no means, but the fact that the white privilege is slipping away, or almost to where you could say there's no more white privilege. The only white privilege that is left is within the justice system pertaining to white officers, because the last thing is they don't want to see white officers behind bars. So that's the last privilege. But the aggression, anger, They're gonna shoot, bro. I'm telling you, they're gonna shoot. Look, don't do anything that's gonna get yourself killed because your family needs you, your children needs you. And I just want to say this to the black lawyers, though. Man, whenever I see Benjamin Crump on the case, this is the pattern. I don't know how this Stephon Cork's pattern is going to go, but this is the pattern. Police going to get off. They might serve a little time in jail, but the family's going to get some money from either the state or the insurance company. And everybody get a cut, and that's the end of it. That's been the pattern. But I'm telling black men, when you see the police coming, some are vigilantes, some they are, they angry, and they want to view black people as the scapegoat. Even though black people are not the scapegoat, because we were minding our business, they don't want to admit that it was white greed. It was white greed and them creating a religion, and in its underlying tone of the religion was trying to justify oppression through religion. And you can't do that because, how can I say, universal laws, spirituality is real. Karma is real. What goes around comes around is real. You reap what you sow is real. What goes up must come down is real. Black people are the originators of civilization is real. So by you creating a religion with oppressive undertones and a justice system that didn't give justice, way down, what do you expect is going to happen? Think about it. Because all that I said of what is real is real. You gotta reap your rewards. In this case of what you sow. So it's nothing, that's not what they say, mumbo jumbo. That's not how they call it. That's not jungle mumbo jumbo. That's not voodoo. That's just a universal law that governs this planet that's always been before we were created. It was always in existence. So it is what it is. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. Because if it wasn't so, then the God wouldn't have said it was so. And if it wasn't so, then we would call the originator of the heavens and earth. Then we would have to say he or she lied. If you didn't reap what you sown. And everybody know when they reap what they sown, and they know why they reap what they sown, meaning what incident or the hand that they played in a situation, and they know why years later, bam, it came back on them, and they know, okay, this is because I did this at that time. You be upset about it, but hey, it is what it is. It's true. So, just to recap, if you want real life on screen, Everyday People The Movie on YouTube, go check it out. And once again, not that I'm sorry. No. Dealing with white privilege is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just a law of the nature. It's something that's inevitable. Something that can't be stopped or destroyed. It's just one of those, it's like Rome. It's like when Augustus Caesar, when he was saying, he called all of he hit the Capitol, calling everybody out. He wanted to give a speech, right? He started going over these laws. He started saying, hey, look, man, we got to cut this adultery thing out. It has to go. We have to start spending time with your family. Start building your family up. He started laying the rules out. Less fornication in the streets. Calling out the men. Hey, man. How many children do you have? He was like, none. Asked him, are you married? He was like, no. He was giving an example. We can't survive. He was saying, Rome will die. Rome can't survive. We're not having children. We're not following a moral code of conduct that will supply or provide life to Rome. He already knew it. After all the wars he fought, after all he conquered, and this is Octavian, Augustus Caesar. After going into Egypt, after hating Cleopatra, after the fact that they didn't want the original son of Julius Caesar, Cleopatra, Caesarion, they didn't want him to rule over Egypt and Rome. After all that dirt, what happened? The people got so engulfed into their orgies and what they called their debauchery or way of living, destroyed Rome. People like to say, they had their troops and they were fighting. That was a part of it. They stretched themselves out too thin, fighting wars and wars and wars, meaning that was just the icing on the cake. Because, yeah, you're right. You did have men in the town who wasn't having children, and then also men being killed in war who wasn't producing children. So over time, Rome was gone. Now, similar. The traditional way of man and woman is being pushed aside or pushed up under or asunder. You having, how can I say, you having technical difficulties. We back on. But you're having homosexuality at a high rate, men and men, women and women, which are not producing. And sport and play has become the forefront. Everybody want to be fly. So over time, over time, slowly falling. And the minister said that, and now we bear witness to what the minister stated. Pearl Pick Radio reminding you, watch the episode, man. Episode 1. Everyday People the Movie. Go check it out, and I'll update you on in the near future when Everyday People the Movie Episode 2, when it drops. Feral Pig Radio, we're out.